Venerable Mahamoggallana said, "Dear friend, as I was coming down from Mount Vulture Peak, I saw a skeleton moving through the air. Vultures, crows and hawks, following it in hot pursuit, were pecking at it between the ribs, stabbing it and tearing it apart, while it uttered cries of pain. It occurred to me, it is wonderful indeed, it is amazing indeed that there could be such a being, that there could be such a spirit, that there could be such a form of individual existence." Then the Blessed One addressed the monks thus, "Monks, there are disciples who dwell having become vision, having become knowledge, in that a disciple can know, see and witness such a sight. In the past, monks, I too saw that being, but I did not speak about it. For if I had spoken about it, others would not have believed me, and if they had not believed me, that would have led to their harm and suffering for a long time. That being, monks, used to be a cattle butcher in this same Rajagaha, having been tormented in hell for many years, for many hundreds of years, for many thousands of years, for many hundreds of thousands of years, as a result of that kamma. As a residual result of that same kamma, he is experiencing such a form of individual existence." It's the end of the sutta. So here, Venerable Mahamoggallana saw a ghost with a skeleton body flying through the air, and these vultures and crows and hawks were chasing it and pecking at it, and he was crying and flying and crying and flying and crying. So the Buddha said he used to be a cattle butcher. He used to slaughter cows. So after that he went to hell for a long time, and after coming out of hell, he's still suffering as a ghost. Then all the other suttas in this Samyutta follow the same pattern. And only thing is the different things that Venerable Mahamoggallana saw. So the second sutta, he said, after being asked, he said, "Dear friend, as I was coming down from Mount Vulture Peak, I saw a piece of meat moving through the air. Vultures, crows and hawks, following it in hot pursuit, were stabbing at it and tearing it apart as it uttered cries of pain." And the Buddha said, "That being, monks, was a cattle butcher in this same Rajagaha." So this second one, he was also a cattle butcher, but instead of being a ghost with a skeleton, he was a ghost full of meat. Maybe the first guy was always cutting the meat off the skeleton, so he was always thinking of the skeleton, so he was born as a skeleton. This one was always chopping the meat. And the third sutta also saw a lump of meat, and the Buddha said, "That being was a poultry butcher in this same Rajagaha. He used to slaughter chickens." The fourth one, I saw a flayed man. The flayed man means a ghost with all the skin removed. That being was a sheep butcher in the same Rajagaha. The fifth sutta, I saw a man with body hairs of swords moving through the air. Those swords kept on rising up and striking his body while he uttered cries of pain. And the Buddha said, that being was a hawk butcher in the same Rajagaha. He used to slaughter pigs. The sixth sutta, I saw a man with body hairs of spears moving through the air. Those spears kept on rising up and striking his body while he uttered cries of pain. And the Buddha said, that being was a deer hunter in this same Rajagaha. The seventh sutta, I saw a man with body hairs of arrows moving through the air. Those arrows kept on rising up and striking his body while he uttered cries of pain. And the Buddha said, that being was a torturer in this same Rajagaha. That means he worked for the king. So when any criminal was to be tortured, he used to torture people. So now he is in pain. The eighth sutta, I saw a man with body hairs of needles moving through the air. Those needles kept on rising up and striking his body while he uttered cries of pain. And the Buddha said, that being was a horse trainer in the same Rajagaha. You see, when they train horses, they have to beat the horses, they have to poke the horses, so make the horses suffer, to discipline. the horse, make the horse got to do what the trainer wants him to do. And usually a new horse is very stubborn, so they have to poke and all that. The 9th sutta. I saw a man with body hairs or needles moving through the air. Those needles entered his head and came out from his mouth. They entered his mouth and came out from his chest. They entered his chest and came out from his belly. They entered his belly and came out from his thighs. They entered his thighs and came out from his calves. They entered his calves and came out from his feet, while he uttered cries of pain. And the Buddha said, that being was a slanderer in the same Rajagaha. Amazing, because see how much person who slanders other people, talk bad about other people, and then you create a lot of harm to that person. Even for monks, sometimes some lay people, they don't like a particular monk. They will talk bad about that monk, and then it goes around, and then so it does a lot of harm to his reputation. So this person, he was this type of person. So if you slander a virtuous person, then the kamma vipaka, the result is much worse. So in this case, I don't know how many people he slandered. So he is born like that. Then the 10th sutta. I saw a man whose testicles were like pots moving through the air. When he walked, he had to lift his testicles onto his shoulders, and when he sat down, he sat on top of his testicles. Vultures, crows, and hawks, following him in hot pursuit, were stabbing at him and tearing him apart while he uttered cries of pain. And the Buddha said, that being was a corrupt magistrate in the same Rajagaha. So you see, this corrupt magistrate, he does a lot of shameful things, which he doesn't want people to know, doesn't want people to see. But when he's born as a ghost, then what is shameful is exposed. The 11th sutta. I saw a man with head submerged in a pit of dung. And the Buddha said, that being was an adulterer in the same Rajagaha. You see, when a person commits adultery, he dirties the body. So here the result is living in a shithole, full of shit. The 12th sutta. I saw a man submerged in a pit of dung, eating dung with both hands. And the Buddha said, that being, monks, was a hostile Brahmin in the same Rajagaha. In the time of the Buddha Kassapa's dispensation, he invited the bhikkhu Sangha to a meal. Having had rice pots filled with dung, he said to the monks, Sirs, eat as much as you want from this and take away the rest with you. So here, this hostile Brahmin, he didn't like the Buddha and the monks. So he knew that if you invite them to a house for a meal, they will come for a meal. So he had all the shit put in the pots. So when the monks came, invited them to eat shit. So he thought it was a big joke, but now his joke backfired. So he's eating shit for a long time. 13th sutta. I saw a flayed woman moving through the air. Vultures, crows, and hawks following her in hot pursuit were stabbing at her and tearing her apart while she uttered cries of pain. And the Buddha said, that woman was an adulteress in this same Rajagaha. So this woman, having committed adultery, maybe did it often and with a lot of men. So she was born as this ghost with all the skin removed. No skin. So when the birds attacked her, she was in great pain. 19.14. I saw a woman, foul-smelling and ugly, moving through the air. Vultures, crows, and hawks following her in hot pursuit were stabbing at her and tearing her apart while she uttered cries of pain. And the Buddha said, that woman was a fortune teller in the same Rajagaha. You see, fortune tellers, usually to make money, they will lie and cheat people. So she was born as a ugly and bad-smelling ghost. 15. I saw a woman, her body roasting, sweltering, sooty, moving through the air, while she uttered cries of pain. And the Buddha said, that woman was the chief queen of the king of Kalinga. Of a jealous character, she poured a brazier of coals over one of the king's consorts. So this formerly, this chief queen, she was jealous of another wife. So this red hot coal, she poured over the other woman. So now she's born as a ghost, the body roasted, burnt in pain. 19.16. I saw a headless trunk moving through the air. Its eyes and mouth were on its chest. Vultures, crows and hawks, following it in hot pursuit, was dapping at it and tearing it apart while it utters cries of pain. And the Buddha said, that being was an executioner named Harika in this same Rajagaha. So this executioner, he used to chop off people's head. So now he's born as a ghost without a head. But he still has eyes and his mouth on his chest. Sometimes people see ghosts also without the head. They executed. 19.17. I saw a monk moving through the air. His outer robe, bowl, waistband and body were burning, blazing and flaming while he uttered cries of pain. And the Buddha said, that monk had been an evil monk in the Buddha Kassapa's dispensation. And then 18. I saw a nun moving through the air. Her outer robe, bowl, waistband and body were burning, blazing and flaming while she uttered cries of pain. And the Buddha said, that nun had been an evil nun in the Buddha Kassapa's dispensation. So these last two refers to monks and nuns. Monks and nuns who they wear the robe, but they don't behave like a monk, and they are corrupt, full of evil desires and all that. When they pass away, they have to suffer for a long time to pay up their credit card. I think I'll stop here.